Hi guys, so this is your Friday science review from the week. Before I get into this, I really need you guys to make sure that you've gone onto the science website. You've watched all the videos from the week. I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos for the week. I'm letting you know right now, if I don't have you watching those videos and submitting it, a lot of you guys, it still says in progress. You need to submit it to get the points. You do get points, I believe, a point for every time you watch those videos. But here's the thing, if it's not done, you're not getting credit for it. And then it's going to reflect your grade on your progress and your report cards. So before you finish my video, stop what you're doing. Go check right now on your science website and make sure that you have not only watched the videos, but you've submitted them. Because just watching this video does not show submission, and it does not show that you've submitted anything, and it also doesn't give you credit for those videos. I really want to make sure you guys are getting the best grades that you can. And the only way I can do that is checking to make sure you're turning in those videos, okay? So do that, and then if you're done, go ahead and come back, okay? Everyone else, so what we are doing, we are going to go straight into our new science workbook. Everybody has this workbook. It's in your Tuesday folder. We are going to basically be talking about living things and habitats. This is actually kind of cool, especially because talking about plants and animals, it's springtime right now. So you're going to probably be able to relate to a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about. So right now, you guys have already done the videos, hopefully. You guys have already done these workbook pages. So what I need from you guys is, after you've submitted all your videos, you are now here to review with the week for what you worked on and corrected. So I need your workbooks out, and I need you guys to have a red pen out so you guys can make corrections, because this is going to help you guys out when I do a science test, okay? So using my schedule from the week, because remember, you guys had to fill this in. On Monday, you needed to do pages 3 and 5 through 7. You had 2 videos to watch. So we're going to do that all together right now. Remember, watching the videos from here does not count. You have to actually submit it on my website, okay? All right, so on page 2 and 3, you should see a picture of this butterfly on a plant, and hopefully you guys know what it's doing. Let's see, I'm going to make this bigger. Sorry. Okay, so let's see. It says, I wonder if I can open this up for you guys. I should have had this ready. I think I have the pro page. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and then we can get into it. Okay, so it doesn't have this page right now available, so I'm going to do it on the, here we're going to do the video, and then I'm going to do the pro page on my screen, okay? So it says, encounter the phenomenon. Why are there specks of yellow on the butterfly? So if you guys actually, it's perfect, because if you like zoomed in to your page, you could see that this yellow stuff that's on the butterfly is actually not part of its design, but that's the question that they're posing. Why do you guys think that yellow stuff there? Maybe it is the design. Why do you guys think they have yellow stuff there? So it says, look at the photo and watch the video. What do you observe, and what do you think the yellow specks are? What questions would you have? So you guys could have written questions right here. And then it says, did you know that there are about 20,000 kinds of butterflies in the world? And this is, like I said, the perfect time to be talking about the science, because it's springtime, and I don't know about you guys, but if I ever do get to go outside, rarely. But when I do get to go outside, I have already been seeing a lot of butterflies. So this is really cool. So let's go ahead and check out my video called Butterflies and Flowers, the Phenomenon in Action. Let me pause. I'm going to get this ready. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Sorry, had to get it ready. So there's no sound to this video. It usually doesn't have one for the phenomenon, but look right here. There's a butterfly. It's got this long thing pointing into the flower. What do you think it's doing? And then look at the wings. Look at the designs, okay? What is he doing with this part of the flower? What do you guys think? I want you to make some predictions. Hopefully you guys have already done that, okay? So he's even putting his face closer, and then he flies away. So what do you guys think he was doing with that, with the flower, okay? That was like the biggest question. Okay, now what I'm gonna do, because I just finished page 3 and the video, I'm going to check it off. Hopefully you guys have been doing that too. And then the next step is to go to page 5 and 7, and then there's another video, okay? So page 5 is our probe page. Remember, the probe page is where you guys make a prediction, okay? Okay, so here we go. Let's go into the probe page. All right, so what do plants need? Now remember, this is where you guys make that prediction. So it looks like here's a picture of Faye and Isabella, and there's a plant right here. It says two friends are talking about the plants. Two friends are talking about the needs of plants. Which friend has a better idea about what plants need? Remember, you're choosing one idea, and it's just a prediction. We're going to come back to it at the end of this video, actually, okay? Isabella says, I think all plants need light and water. Faye says, I think most plants need light and water. There are some plants that live only in dark. There are some plants that do not need water. Okay, so who do you guys think has a better idea? And then below, you should have explained your thinking. So I agree with Isabella because blah, 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 blah. Or I agree with Faye because blah, 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 blah. You need to make sure that you include some idea here. I am not going to go over the answers yet because that would deplete this whole idea of what we're doing right now. So we're going to stop here. And then we need to move on to pages 6 and 7. So I'm going to close out of here. All right, it's always easy when everything's ready for me. Okay, so encounter the phenomenon. And then page 6 should be a bigger picture of this. And it says, how do these plants get what they need? So if you kind of look at this picture, it's super dark here, but there's plants down below. So let's go ahead and move on to page 7. Oh, and it says, check out growing sunflowers to see the phenomenon. Am I on the right one? Perfect. Growing sunflowers, which by the way are my favorite flowers. So I'm so excited to learn about sunflowers. All right, here we go. No sound. Oh my God, I love them. Oh, interesting. It looks like they're moving. Remember, this is a sped up. Oh my God, look how pretty this guy is. This is a sped up video. I'm going to replay it. Watch how the sunflowers move. They're facing this way. And then look, they move. Remember, this is a sped up video. So this is actually what sunflowers do. Oh my God, that is the coolest thing. I love this video. Okay. So now let's talk about what we just watched, okay? Look at the photo and watch the video of sunflowers. Observe how the sunflowers move as they grow. What do you wonder about? So what are you guys thinking about? Share your questions with a partner. So what are some questions that you would ask? I might ask, why are the sunflowers moving that way? How big are the sunflowers? Where was this video like taking place? What part of the day was it? Where did these sunflowers go? What's the location? Those are just some questions you may have asked. You should have written your question on the lines that they gave you. And then I always like these fun facts. It says, did you know most plants use sunlight to make their own food? If you didn't know that, we're going to learn about that, okay? Here are just some answers that this book had provided. What would happen to the plants if there was no light? So would they continue to move? That's a great question, actually. Very cool. All right, guys, guess what? That is our Monday. Our Monday lesson is done with, okay? Now we need to close out of this. Whoopsies. What am I doing? Sorry. Oh, here we go. Okay, now we need to move into Tuesday's activity. And Tuesday's lesson required you guys to do the inquiry activity, which was pages 8 through 10. So let me stop sharing, okay? So pages 8 through 10. And remember, you never have to do this experiment. I basically have the video that does it for you. If you did it, that's really cool. Actually, if you ever do these experiments, because you guys have the supplies at home, have your parents send me a picture or video. I think that's super cool. I would love to check out what you guys are doing at home, okay? So I'm on pages, 8 through 10. And then what we're going to do is we're going to complete this workbook page, or you guys should have already done that, but you're also going to do it as I'm watching the video with you guys, okay? Remember, this does not count as watching the video for credit, okay? I'm going to do the inquiry rewind, which you guys should have already done. here we go. Ooh, hopefully it's full page. Okay.
In this lesson, we're investigating how to determine if plants need water and sunlight to grow. Let's look back at the video we saw earlier in the lesson. Why do you think the sunflowers move the way they do? In this activity, you'll be studying what amount of sunlight is best for a plant. To investigate plants and sunlight, you'll use the following materials: gloves, 3 plants, tape, marker, cup of water, and colored pencils. To complete this activity, you'll place 3 plants of the same kind in a full sun location, a partly shady location, and a full shade location. Before you begin, make a prediction. How will a plant grow in full sun, shade, and full shade? Take a moment to share your prediction with your classmates, then select Continue.
So I'm not going to spend too much time on this because you guys should have already done it, but you should have made a prediction on page 8 that says, how will a plant grow if full sun, some shade, and full shade? So you're going to predict what a plant might grow like if there's a lot of sun, full sun. How will a plant grow if there's some shade? And how will it grow if there's full shade? So you guys should have already made that prediction.
Gather your 3 plants, tape, and marker. Tear off a piece of tape and place it on the first plant's container. Use the marker to write full sun on the piece of tape.
A little bit slower, sorry. I wonder if I could speed it up.
Place it on the second plant.
I'm going to speed it up, okay, because you guys should have already seen this.
Use the container, tape, gloves to continue with your activity. Now place each of your plants in a suitable location. Use the label to help you remember where to put each plant. After placing each plant, give each plant an equal amount of water. You will be letting the plants grow for 1 month, or about 30 days. During this time, you will need to remember to water your plants regularly. You will observe your plants after 1 month to see how they reacted to sunlight. Now it's time to observe your plants and record your data. Select the full sun row. Look at the plant you placed in full sun. What do you see?
So I'm going to pause this. So this is actually the picture that you should be drawing. So on page 9, it's asking you to draw pictures of each of the plants. So this picture right here of the plant should be drawn in this box right here where it's full sun. So I am looking at this picture. It looks like the leaves, it looks like it's grew up tall. The leaves are sprouting. It's green. So that's what I would be drawing. So that's what you guys should have drawn, something of that nature.
Use your colored pencils to draw a picture of the leaves of this plant. When you have finished, select Next.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. You guys should have already done this.
Now check out the plant that you placed in some shade. Does it look different than the plant you placed in full sun? Use your colored pencils to draw a picture of the leaves of this plant. When you have finished, select Next.
So I'm looking at this one, and it's not as tall and straight as the other one. It kind of looks like it's curved a little, but the plant leaves look green. They look strong. This one's got a little bit of brown, and the last one I noticed that it had brown at the bottom too, so I would have drawn that. But this one definitely looks like it's curved a little bit, but it still looks green and healthy. Now we're going to draw the one with full shade, so no sun.
Now look at the plant you placed in full shade. Does the plant look different than the other plants? Use your colored pencils to draw a picture of the leaves of this plant. When you have finished, select Continue.
So this one looks like it's also curved. It's not as possibly tall. It actually looks thicker. Look at the stem, it looks a little thicker. These leaves are growing at the lower part of the stem. So there's leaves down here and not as much up here, which is interesting, okay?
Pencils to draw a picture of the leaves of this plant. When you have finished, select Continue. Pencils to draw a picture of the leaves of this finished, select Continue. Now that you've collected your
Okay, so if you didn't get a chance, this is what they look like next. So this is full sun, full shade, and full sun, full shade, and some shade. That's the different plants. Actually, this one is taller. I didn't notice that the full sun is actually not as tall, but look at the colors. So if you didn't get a good chance, look right here. This one probably looks the greenest. It looks the strongest. Look how thick that is. Look at these wilted ones right here. Some of these look a little dead. This one has a little brown. This one doesn't really have, there's a little brown right here. So this is a really good right here if you guys want to finish drawing your pictures if you didn't get a chance. And then we're moving on to page 10 because we're going to start communicating our answers for information, okay?
Your data. Take some time to analyze your data and communicate your findings. As you look at the side-by-side photo of all three plants, there are some things to think about. The results of this activity will change depending on many things or variables. When observing plants outdoors, it is not possible to control the weather or temperature. For this activity, we used tomato plants, but the results could change if you used a different type of plant. These tomato plants grew outside for 30 days. During that time, there were days where it rained heavily, and the plants received different amounts of water from the rain. About half of the days were sunny and between 90 degrees Fahrenheit and 96 degrees Fahrenheit. At these temperatures, the plant in the full sun lost water more quickly than the other two plants. It was also hot enough that the leaves of the plant in the full sun were burned by the sun. This is like what happens to us when we go outside on a sunny day without having sunblock on. Use your data to complete the Communicate Information section.
All right, so I'm going to close out of this. So now we are going to go into what you guys had communicated. Let me see if I can close this out. All right, so now I'm going to hopefully have to go to the end page. Sorry. So on page 10, you guys should have answered two questions, question number 7 and question number 8. Now, question number 7, you guys probably could not have done that well because obviously we didn't have the chance to share it with our friends. So number 7, don't worry about it, but let's talk about number 8. It says, did your observations support your prediction? Well, this is where you have to go back to your prediction on page 8. So did the pictures of these plants connect to your prediction of what you guys thought it would look like? Because my prediction was wrong. I originally thought that the plant that had full sun would be strong and thick and green, and actually that one did not look the healthiest. And then I actually thought the one that was in full shade would not look very healthy and maybe not even grow. So my prediction was wrong. And remember, it's okay to have a wrong prediction. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for your Tuesday. You should have gone and basically checked off what we did on Tuesday. We did pages 8 through 10 and we watched our video. Now on Wednesday, you guys actually had a lot more to do on Wednesday. I'm going to go ahead and turn my workbook page to page 12 and 13. And then you have a video that you had to do. And then we have 16 and 17 and then another video. Okay. Let me go ahead and pull that up for you guys. All right. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I found it. All right, so we are on, it's obviously going to look a little different than your guys' page. So first of all, I am on workbook page 12. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to quickly review your vocabulary words. You have, look for these words as you read. Leaf, mineral, nutrient, root, and stem. All right, so let's go ahead and read this. So here looks like a picture. Oh, that's so cool. You can see the roots growing in. All right, plants. How do plants in dark places get what they need? Well, plants have parts that help them survive in their environments. Roots are parts that keep the plants in the ground. So right here's your roots. they take in water from the soil. So it's kind of like a straw. They suck up that water, and that's how they get the water. They get it from the ground. Roots also take in minerals and nutrients. Minerals and nutrients help to keep living things healthy. So in this case, plants don't eat food like we do. They eat, well, I guess you can call it eat. They take in nutrients and minerals that actually gives them the strength to grow. That's what the food that they kind of need, okay? All right, so we read that. I believe we need to go to the simulation video. Is that coming up? I wonder if it's going to be on the last page. Let me double check. Explore, was this one it? Sunlight, water, and, oh, perfect. So this is the next thing that you guys should have done, should have been this video. Explore how plants grow in different amounts of sunlight, and it's a simulation thing. So this is actually where you guys should have had fun with like how to create it. I assigned this for you guys to play around with, okay? So let's just say I want to grow, it says, welcome to growing plants. You are here to learn about how the environment affects what a plant looks like and what it needs to grow. You will grow a plant for 30 days and discover how light and water affect its growth. Press the next button to start your first experiment, okay? I'm not gonna do the whole thing. I'm gonna do part of it so you guys can actually go on and have fun with it yourself. If you haven't already done so, make sure you do it. Before you start, set where the sun is coming from once with the sun slider, then change the amount of shade with the tree slider, change the amount of water with the rain slider. Click the play button to start growing. Try varying the shade and water. So varying means changing. So cool. Okay, I got it, man. All right, so my plant's growing. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I'm going to, so here, I'm going to make, so this is creating shade. So look, if I have less trees, look at the sunlight's coming down. If I want to have a lot more trees, there's less sunlight. So I'm gonna put that in the middle. I think water, I'm gonna make it really, really rainy. Let's see what happens. I'm gonna push play. Oh, my plant's growing good. Okay, let's say, how about very little water and a lot of sunlight? Uh-oh, ooh, that doesn't look healthy. Okay. So guys, go ahead and have fun with that. You guys can play with your simulation. I'm only on day 18, but I'm obviously not gonna spend my whole time on that. I'm gonna close out of this. So yeah, so you guys can do that. I'm gonna continue reading. I am on page 13, okay? All right, so they actually have a picture. It says, plants in a tropical forest get little sunlight. Kind of think about the story that we read. Remember when we read the story Rainforest, and we talked about the different layers of the rainforest? That's kind of something you can use for the science video, or sorry, the science lesson. Plants in a tropical forest get little sunlight, so there's not that much sunlight. We have stems and then we have leaves, but it's kind of weird how they don't get a lot of sunlight, but look how green it is in a rainforest. So let's go ahead and read. It says, water and nutrients travel through the roots and up to the stem of the plant. So remember, the roots are in the ground, it soaks up the water like a straw, and then that water travels through the stem, like that tall, skinny thing. The stem is the plant's part that holds the plant up, so that thing that kind of keeps it standing up tall. The leaves of a plant take in air and sunlight to make food. So we've got the roots that are in charge of soaking up the water, and then we have the leaves that are in charge of collecting the sun. So collecting the sun and then turning that sunlight into food. The plants below grow in an area with little sunlight. What do you notice about the size of the leaves in the photo? Why do you think that some plants in the areas with little sunlight have large leaves? So look how large these leaves are. They're huge. Think about it. What does a leaf do? A leaf is in charge of collecting the sunlight. So if a leaf is bigger, then it's probably going to collect as much sunlight as it can. So maybe that's why it has a lot more larger leaves, to ensure that it has enough time or a lot of area to collect food. So let's see what your answer could have been. The larger leaves help the plants take in the sunlight that they get. So remember, if you have a larger leaf, it's going to collect more sunlight, which is perfect because they don't get much sunlight. All right, so I'm gonna check off that we did page 12 and 13. I'm gonna check off that we did our simulation video. And now I'm gonna move us on to page 16 and 17, which we also have a video, okay? Remember, if I'm ever going too fast, you can always stop my video and rewind it. Okay, here we go. Sorry, this is everything that I see. So no, we're not there yet. We need to go to plants in dry places. Here we go. Hopefully this is the right page. Okay, so I'm on page 16 and page 17 in my workbook. I hope you're there. Oh, I love cacti. All right, plants in dry places. How do you think some plants survive in areas with little water? So can you guys think of an area, especially living in California, hopefully you can. What is an area called where there's a lot of sun but a little bit of water? A desert, right? So you'll find a cactus is usually in a desert area, some type of plants like these. Well, how does it survive if there's so much sun but a little bit of water? Let's read about that. The parts of the cactus plant help it to survive in the dry desert. A cactus has a thick stem. So this right here, it's got the thick stem that stores the water. So stores means it holds onto it. So that stem, this whole big part of the stem actually holds water. The stem acts like a leaf to produce food from sunlight. Its waxy covering helps hold water. So this part is actually, I guess, considered the leaf too, and the stem's more down here. But let's see if I can. So this collects the sunlight to turn into food, but it also has a waxy area to ensure that it can hold in the water, so the water doesn't seep through the plant. That's super cool. Uh-oh. So that's actually how it survives. It survives by making a lot of food from the sunlight, but it also saves and stores water, which helps it survive in the desert. Okay, so we needed to watch this video next. It says, watch the video Roots Take in Water to see how plants get into dry places.
And plants have a reaction to certain things, such as light, water, or gravity. Let us learn how things affect how plants grow. We use this time-lapse video to show you. Look at these plants grow. They do not actually grow this fast, but we sped up the process so you could see it easily. Light, water, and gravity are affecting the growing plants. Plants need water to survive. Roots grow right to the water source and start taking in water. The roots provide the rest of the plant with nutrients to grow. Roots also grow down according to the pull of gravity. Gravity is that thing that keeps us on the ground. But the roots have another job, and that is to anchor the plant firmly in place underground, like this. Light helps the plant grow too. Light provides the plant with energy to help it stay strong and healthy. Plants need light to survive. The parts of the plant above ground will grow toward the light. These flowers are all growing up toward the sun.
Very cool. Oopsies. Oh, I'm gonna close down the whole thing. Hold on. Sorry. Oh no. I totally did. Give me 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Sorry about that. I accidentally closed out my screen. Okay, let's make sure I'm on it. Okay. So we finished this video. On page 16, there was a question for you guys to answer that says, why do you think a cactus does not flower until the rainy season? So scroll. So here's a cactus, right? And then here's a flower, but remember the flower only blooms when it's rainy. Why did you guys think? What was your prediction? Well, a cactus does not start flowering and growing until the rainy season. Here's a reason why. I think the cactus uses the little water it has when it is not rainy to live. Then rainy season brings more water. This helps the plant to grow. So during the non-rainy season, any rain that it gets, the cactus is just going to hold on to it. It's going to store it. It's going to save the water for when it doesn't need it anymore. During the rainy season, when there's lots of water, what the cactus is going to do, it's going to open up the flower so it can grow, and then maybe that's going to help it collect more sunlight too. Okay. All right, so that is page 16. Now let's go ahead and move into page 17. Oh, these tabs are driving me crazy. Okay. Page 17. World's largest blooming plant. Ooh, oh my gosh. Is that a jacaranda tree? I wonder what it is. Okay. World's largest blooming plant. You have read that plants need sunlight and water to grow. One plant in Southern California grew to be the world's largest blossoming plant, and it is still growing. The wisteria plant started out as a small plant in 1894. Wow. It grew fast, so fast that it covered its owner's house in 1931. The plant has been named the world's largest blooming plant by the Guinness Book of World Records. It weighs about 250 tons and it has over 1.5 million blooms. That is so cool. I wonder if we could ever find this. That would be the coolest thing to find. Huge. Love it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and check off that we did pages 16 through 17 and my video. Now let's move on to Thursday's lesson. And Thursday's lesson asks us to do pages 24 through 26, and then we need to revisit the pro page and make corrections. I'm going to turn my workbook page to 24 through 26, which is my review, which I saw it right here. So bright. Okay. Okay, so we're basically reviewing the lesson. That's the end of the week. I know we had to skip a lot of pages. Sorry about that. Remember, you're able to go and do the other pages if you want or the activities, but I'm not requiring it, okay? All right, it says, summarize it. How do these plants get what they need? All right, so I need you to explain how do these plants get what they need. So explain how plants are able to grow in a dark cave. So here's a dark cave. How are these plants able to grow there? Here's an idea of what you could have written down. Even in a dark cave, there's a little bit of light near the opening where plants can actually grow. So look right here, there's a little bit of light. So you can tell me that some plants don't need a lot of sunlight. So as long as they're getting water, they can survive. And as long as they're getting a little bit of sunlight, they can survive. That's kind of what I was looking for. Now, before I move on to page 25, I need to revisit my probe page because I need to check my answers. So I'm going to return back to my probe page. And then what did you guys say was the correct answer? If I can click on this. Or do I actually have to physically go back? Ugh, okay, I'm gonna go back to the probe page for you guys, sorry. As you can see, it's never easy for me to use this website. There's so many stuff I have, so many things I have to go through, so sorry. Okay, here's my probe page. All right, so back on this probe page, who did you guys say was correct? Did you say Faye was correct or Isabella? Remember, that was your prediction. Use your red pen. If you want to change your prediction, go ahead and do so right now. Remember, Isabella said, I think all plants need light and water. And Faye said, I think most plants need light and water. There are some plants that live in only the dark, and there are some plants that do not need water. Is that true? Who do you guys think was correct? Well, your answer should have been Isabella. The reason why light and water are basic needs of all plants. And the reason why Isabella is correct, she said that all plants need light and water. That's true. They don't all need the same amount of water or the same amount of light, but they do need it in some sort. And Faye was incorrect because plants cannot grow in only the dark. They cannot grow if there is no water. There needs to be one. They need to have a little bit of one or both, okay? Well, they actually need both. So Isabella was correct. So hopefully that you guys circled Isabella. And if you didn't, hopefully you made the correction. Let's go ahead and go back to my review, back to my workbook page. 25. Now, if you guys notice anything from my science test, I do tend to use these questions on the test. So if you ever want to maybe make a little note on your workbook page that I use this one, it's a good idea, okay? Camila planned an investigation with 2 plants of the same kind. She recorded her observation on the table below. The amount of water after 1 week and after 2 weeks. So plant number 1 got 1 teaspoon of water each day. Plant number 2 got 20 teaspoons of water each day. After 1 week, plant number 1 looks brown and the leaves are starting to dry. Why do you think it's starting to dry? Is it getting enough water? And after 2 weeks, the whole plant looks brown and is dried up. It basically is probably dead, right? Why do you think it didn't survive? What did it not have enough of, okay? Now, plant number 2 has 20 teaspoons of water each day. The plant looks green, it looks healthy after 1 week, and then after 2 weeks, it looks green and healthy. Okay, so how did the amount of water affect the results? You could have told me that the plant that had less water did not survive, and the plant that had a lot of water, 20 tablespoons, actually survived and did better. Okay. One of your answers, that was my answer. So you could have told me that more water helps plants grow. And then which sentence shows a necessary part of Camila's planning? So Camila was the one that did this planning up here. Which sentences shows a necessary part of Camila's planning? Plants should be in the same place. Plants should be the same kind of plant. Plants should be in the same kind of soil, and plants should be labeled with the same marker. Okay. What is important for this investigation? Well, you need to make sure that you're working with the same plant, because if I'm working with a cactus and a tomato plant, I already know that one's going to need more water. So you need to make sure in this investigation you have to have the same plant, right? And then also need to have the same type of soil. So I don't want to have one growing on a paper towel and one growing in dirt. I need to make sure that they both have the same elements. They're both receiving the same amount of, that we're both working with the same plant, and they're both receiving the same kind of nutrients if I'm talking about water. And was I right? Oh, A, B, and C. What was A? The plants should be in the same place. Yes, that is true. I did not see that one. Plants should be in the same place. I don't want to put one in a cave or one in full sunlight. So these are the three things, okay? Mrs. Witcher should have checked her work. If you did not get those right, write it down in your workbook. I am doing that because I know when it comes time to my test, I might need to use this workbook page. Okay, last one, and then we're done with this video, okay? On page 26, it says, you are a gardener. What kind of plants would you put in the shady parts of your garden? What kind of plants would you put in the sunny? This was just fun for you guys. You could have drawn pictures, you could have written it out. Here are some sample answers. Students' drawing should include 2 plants that grow well in the shade and 2 plants that grow well in the sun. So for example, I might draw a fruit plant of some sort because I love fruit. So maybe I would draw like a boysenberry bush in the sun. And then I love succulents or a cactus. So I'd probably put that in the areas that do very well in the sun. Okay, so those might have been my drawings. Okay. All right, that is it for your science video. Just a reminder, you need to turn in your videos on my science website. If they're not being turned in, you're not getting credit. If you're not getting credit, you're not getting the best score that you can on your progress report card, okay? Remember, watching this video does not give you credit. Of course, you need to watch it because you're making your corrections, but you still need to turn your videos in on my science website. Other than that, we will start lesson 2 next week. You guys have a great Friday and a great weekend. See you later.